have here in my hands a Kaweco Sport piston. Now it's nighttime, the lighting is terrible. I would like to do a proper thoughts video in the morning, but I really wanted to open this on camera, kind of share my first impressions, and I couldn't wait. I'm actually really excited about this. So, oh, interesting. I didn't expect it to come in the big tin because I didn't order the special edition with the ink. I ordered mine from Colt Pens and with the extra fine nib. Here we go. It's really pretty. A little sticker, you get your stuff. Let's just look at the pen. I don't want to talk about what's in the box because it's not very interesting. It feels really good in the hand. I like that they went with a matte finish, so it's just, it feels a little bit more hefty than the traditional aluminum. This is an aluminum body and it has a really substantial, now that is a good ink window. There are so many pens that have ink windows and they're itty bitty and you have to like hold it up to the light just right to be able to see how much ink is in there. That is legit. That will actually show you your ink levels very well. So I believe, yep, that is a blind cap. And here is the actual piston knob. And so you can just turn this, right? Yes, that's all you do. You just turn it and you can see now that the piston is moving on the inside of the barrel. I'll be really curious to see how much capacity this holds because that has been my one complaint with Kaweco for some time now, is just how limited the carrying capacity is. And unless if you, of course, eyedropper it. I was just curious to know if this would come off, and it doesn't seem like it's detachable, which I guess is fine, but it can, if you can remove the nib unit from a piston filler, it makes it really easy to clean out. And it doesn't seem like you can, and at least I don't want to force it at the moment. Oh, I'm so excited to ink this up, but I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to do so and pull out my whole Kaweco pen collection because I have a lot. This is not the first sport piston, by the way. Tomorrow I'm gonna check in and we'll talk about how this pen rates. All right, here we are. This is the Kaweco collection, and this is the newest piston filler, and it's so exciting. All right, I have to, of course, share with you this original Kaweco Sport. This one was from the 1950s or the 1960s. I can't remember. It says on the cap Kaweco Sport. It also says V15 and EF for extra fine. This is a piston filler with a huge ink window and a somewhat hooded nib and no blind cap. It's just the piston knob is on the back. So this was effectively the very first Kaweco Sport, which originally was a piston filler. And so it's just exciting to find that Kaweco has come full circle with their sport line. I know this has been something that people have wanted for so long now, and it just feels really good to finally have it. So let's fill this puppy up. Getting a wee bit low on this bottle. Okay, so what do I think of the Kaweco Sport Piston? I am just really excited that it exists now. I know some people were a little bit disappointed by how conservative they are with the aesthetics of it. I think some people were a little disappointed that it was aluminum. I think it's really charming, and I'm just so thrilled that they have one now. This does feel really well thought out. It is very, very much a sport, and everything fits together super well. It's beautifully finished. It feels very substantial. It's definitely, it feels a little bit more, a little less robust, of course, than the brass or the bronze, but it feels really well made. Everything just looks so beautifully put together. And so I'm very happy that they put a lot of thought into it. I think it was very intentional with the design, and it doesn't deviate from the Kaweco Sport, which makes me really happy. What I'm trying to say, though, is that I do hope that they branch out and bring some new colors to the market, because their sport line can be so colorful and so fun, and it would be really nice to see this being taken to that level as well, with different colors and variations. One thing I would like to add real quick is that it would be nice to see this matched with a gold nib. The steel nib is really wonderful, and it writes very well, and it seems to be very reliable, and of course it's very juicy, and this is an extra fine, and it doesn't feel scratchy at all, and I like that a lot. However, I do miss just that little bit of spring that gold nibs can have. And I will throw in that the original Kaweco Sport, the one I showed you at the beginning, is also made with a gold nib. So it would just be fun to see that. But I don't need it. Honestly, like, my impression is that this is a really well-built, well-put together pen. And I'm so thrilled to have it. I'm so thrilled that this is finally here in the market. I'm just really tickled. I really, this is just such a delight. I wonder why they chose to go with a blind cap rather than just the piston knob at the end. It doesn't bother me. It's really sweet. The little detailing on the finial of the actual piston is the little Kaweco logo that you see on the finial of the cap as well. And it's just a really lovely little detail. It's a high quality pen. I'm really impressed with how much, at least this is my opinion, of course, just how much it feels like went into this, how much thought and attention to detail. It doesn't feel like they rushed this at all. It feels like this was something that they really took the time into considering all the little details and putting it together. I really love that it also has an integrated clip. That's something that is kind of new with the art pens that they started doing. So many of the sports in the past, all of the sports in the past, at least as far as I know, have had detachable clips, which is fine, because I think there's a lot of people that appreciate that flexibility and don't want to have a clip on their sport. I personally have always really appreciated having a clip, so this is really great. And it's a clip that doesn't move. These clips have a tendency to slip around just a little bit. This, by the way, is an aluminum in the rose gold, and they have a very different finish. This one is super, super smooth and polished, and the edges feel a little bit rounder. This one has very crisp edges and is textured, lightly textured. There doesn't seem to be any smell. I know that's a concern of some people with the bronze and the brass and the steel even, with their other metal pens. I'm glad it's not plastic. I feel like I would have been really disappointed if it were plastic. It would have just felt too light and too cheap. Unless, of course, they did something in this resin, like with the Art Sports. I really like this model a lot and would love to see this translated in a piston filler as well. I hope that's something that they do. Again, that's my biggest concern at this point, is that Kaweco will play it conservatively and really keep this line demure and classic. And I hope that they come out with some fun releases, because I think that's part of the charm of the sport. They just come in so many varieties, so many colors and textures, and it would be great to see them embrace that with this new line as well. I don't think I have much more to say at this moment. I'm just very excited that this exists. It's very early days and I'd like to spend some time riding with it, to be honest. I think it's going to be a great rider. I think it'll be really nice to have that much more ink and to be able to really change up the inks. And I know I played it pretty conservatively with the Parker Quink Black, but that's just how I'm feeling these days. Maybe one day in the future I'll get a little sassy and try some interesting colors again. But for now, this suits me just fine. Thank you all for watching and happy riding.